Hi, thank you for stopping by. My name is Matty, and I've been helping my clients for over 20 years to heal from abuse, trauma, chronic anxiety, depression, and much more. My latest topic is healing from narcissistic abuse, which also includes love addiction and codependency. I'm creating a series of videos which will hopefully bring you knowledge and practical skills to feel more at peace, more confident, and joyful. And please don't forget to subscribe and like if you enjoy my videos, and feel free to share with anyone that you think this will be helpful. My plan is to post new videos at least once a month, as some of my clients are not able to afford therapy or coaching. So I'm hoping that in this way, at least you will get some information. And in today's videos, I'm sharing 7 key traits of a covert or vulnerable narcissist. And I also posted a link to my first video of narcissism, where I talk more about the grandiose type or malignant narcissist, which we, for the most part, know. And please stay to the end of this video, and you will learn one most important thing you need to do to protect yourself if you're still in a relationship with a narcissist. And what prompted me to create this video is that several months ago, I ended a relationship with a covert narcissist. And luckily, because I'm familiar with this, I started to recognize warning symptoms. And I do want to create more awareness of this topic, as in spite of my professional training and personal experience, I still attracted this narcissist in my life because my mom was actually a narcissist. And it can happen to anyone. So the narcissist can be your parent, your child, your boss, your sibling, and of course, your intimate partner. So here are some of the top characteristics of a covert narcissist. And to be honest, I admit I was not aware that there are different types of narcissists when I first started researching this. And there are many other specialists who work with this topic. So because the men I dated also showed remorse and even cried at times and asked me not to abandon him, I thought that he was not a narcissist. But how wrong I was. For almost 6 months, on and off, that the relationship lasted, I felt like I was in a fog, like I was a different person. I couldn't think clearly, couldn't make decisions, felt really bad at myself. So we call this narcissistic fog. And it actually truly feels like you're in a trance, almost like you're drugged. And you do everything you can to keep this relationship or to avoid conflicts. Now, here are some of the traits of a covert or vulnerable narcissist. Number 1, they carry a lot of shame. And if you confront them, they will lash out in anger many times. For example, when I confronted my ex about his behavior, he would get super defensive and even get into rage and storm out, slamming the doors, start blaming me, or even lock himself in the room. And he said, if only you stop telling me to slow down, I would not get angry, right? Number 2, you see, they do not accept that there is anything wrong with them. And even the smallest criticism can cause what we call narcissistic injury, because they are hypersensitive to any sign of criticism, even if it's valid. So when I told my ex how he needs to help me with chores, he said I was treating him like an ant, just because in the normal course of relationship, I wanted him to contribute. Number 3, they do not trust others. And they often have a history of poor or inconsistent parenting. Many times the parent was also a narcissist. My ex told me very little about himself. However, it does appear that his father and his brother were both narcissists who humiliated him all the time because of his speech disability. So it was easier to blame others than to go to therapy and introspect what's really going on here. He was also extremely jealous. And at one time when I had a video session with a client, he accused me of cheating on him because we made on a dating app. Number 4, they do not accept responsibility for their actions or behaviors. Instead, they blame others. For example, my ex constantly broke things, and instead of taking responsibility, he would label me as controlling. It's my fault because I get upset over nothing. Number 5, they are highly manipulative. So as opposed to grandiose type of narcissists, they use emotional type of blackmail, and they may use your personal history, use it against you. For example, my ex knew all about my failed marriage, my struggles with mental health and PTSD. And he used to say it's all my fault, that I'm damaged, I'm screwed up, and that I'm still fighting with my ex, and that there's absolutely nothing wrong with him, right? And for a while, I even believed that. Number 6, they're emotionally immature and distant and unable to experience emotions like we do. They're not able to really have emotional intimacy with others. And they're not capable of compassion, and they're unable to separate thoughts from ideas. We call this cognitive empathy. For example, many times when I didn't do what he wanted me to do, he would accuse me I don't love him, of throwing an adult tantrum, or blast loud music, or lock himself in the room. Definitely not a mature behavior. More like a 2 or 3-year-old throwing a tantrum when they don't get their way. Number 7, they do gaslighting, denying the reality. This is probably one of the worst traits. And that goes for both vulnerable and malignant narcissists. For example, when I told my ex that I made plans with a friend, he would accuse me I never told him, even if I did, and not just once. So if somebody does that for a long time, people can actually lose touch with reality and decompensate, being in this narcissistic fog or trance. A narcissist might say, if you say, I'm going to tell other people, nobody's going to believe you anyway. I actually told briefly what was going on to one of his family members that I was supposed to be friends with. But unfortunately, this person was also a victim of his narcissism as well, and didn't want to get involved, and instead defended his behavior. So my advice is to stay away from his friends and family members, who we all also call flying monkeys, as you will never get justice. So in comparison, to kind of sum it up, vulnerable or covert narcissists differ from malignant grandiose type, which is most well known in these key ways. Number 1, they might lack charisma compared to more grandiose narcissists. Number 2, they present as victims and may even experience paranoia, like everybody's get after them. 3, they are seeking validation constantly due to their insecurity. 4, besides anger and hostility, they experience intense anxiety and fear of being abandoned. And they can get depressed for months. Number 5, they might be chronic complainers and constantly criticize people just to make themselves feel better. Number 6, they withhold truth or simply whenever they don't get their way. And they often have outside affairs and what we call triangulate people, right? They have a third person outside. They also hide their need for power and influence. And they often what we call hoover, meaning they keep tabs on their exes, and sometimes after a while, they try to get back in and try to convince you, and they may even become stalkers. And now, what I promised you, the most important thing you can do is to not believe what they're saying, not responding, because they will try to put you down so that they feel better about themselves. So recovery from narcissistic abuse is probably one of the most difficult ones. And when you are ready to let them go, maybe you're not able to because you're married to them, or it's your child or your parent, just make plans and don't expect any closure or compassion from his friends and family members who have been equally blinded by narcissist charm. If you're still in a relationship, just go do gray rock, what we call, and just communicate very simple things. I hope that the video has given you an idea what you're facing. And just remember, you're never alone. It is not your fault. Many of us grew in dysfunctional homes, and I promise you healing is possible. You just need to make this first step, which could be continue watching these videos. So please comment below any questions you have about narcissists, and I will do my best to include it in my next video. I would love to do that for you. Just so you know, I have a boutique practice and I offer the quality services and provide my clients with the results they seek. And for this reason, to have my undivided attention, I only work with 15 clients a week. You can complete an application and also see in the description of the video ways you can get in touch with me. And I'm wishing you courage and never give up. You can overcome this by following my videos and working with me one-on-one, whether in therapy, if you're in Florida, New York, or coaching worldwide via Zoom. So thank you again for stopping by and have a good